Everybody knows that the key to YouTube success is consistency and a laser-like focus on the scope of your content. You can't be posting gear reviews and tutorials one day and music videos and rodeo stuff after that. If you want to get traction, you've got to stay on target. Hello world, my name is Matt Spa, and sometimes I see shiny things and I forget what this channel is about. But today, I'm gonna get back to what this channel is supposed to be about, which is all things audio, video, and photo related for anyone that has an inclination or a desire to hear me spout off about that kind of stuff. I hope you'll consider subscribing. I have spent the last year or so getting rid of gear that either didn't perform well or was difficult to transport and set up, or just anything that I felt like was kind of binding up my workflow. I work with small crews and I need to be this well-oiled machine, so I'm always looking for ways to be more efficient. But I've had to make some pretty tough decisions during that purge, and one thing that I've been on the fence about is my slider. A couple of years ago I bought this. It's the iFootage Shark Slider Nano, because it got rave reviews from like every cool kid on YouTube, but I never could get it to operate smoothly. iFootage actually replaced my original Shark Slider Nano after they determined it was defective, and the replacement slider was better, but it was still not great. If you watch the iFootage video on how to set up the Shark Slider Nano, they will tell you to attach your camera directly to the carriage, or let's say you can. But they also say that balancing your camera load is really important, which means you have to have some kind of head in between the slider carriage thing that moves and your camera. So as part of my well-oiled machine initiative, I decided that I was either going to get this thing to work properly or I was going to get rid of it. And thankfully I got it to work. The fix came down to two things. One was increasing the torque on the slider motor a little bit, and the second thing was adding a fluid head to the mix. The fluid head that I landed on was the iFootage Komodo K5S. And in the rest of this video, I'm just going to talk about how I'm using these two pieces of gear. Before I go any further, I will say that iFootage probably doesn't even know I exist, and I bought all this stuff with my own money, and as always, all of my opinions are my own. I use a slider on my B camera for interviews. These are for B-roll and stuff like that too, but primarily that's how I use it. My A camera is usually a fixed medium shot from the waist up at about 50 millimeter. My B cam is on the slider and it's usually about 85 millimeters. So right off the bat, I'm kind of asking a lot of a slider. The longer the focal length is, the more sensitive your setup is going to be to any jitters and shake. It's just like when you do handheld. Wide angle, you don't see it as much. To aggravate things further, I use the full travel of the slider. You can use this on a tabletop, but it cuts the travel distance in half. I use mine on a tripod, so all that weight is traveling the max distance from a single support point that's right in the center. So that, I'm sure that doesn't help. And what I didn't realize was how much of a role the balance of the camera weight plays in the overall performance of the slider. So enter the iFootage Komodo K5S Fluid Head. This is the replacement to the original Komodo K5. It's a little bit taller than the original, the base is a little bit bigger, the knobs are a little bit bigger, the handle rosettes are definitely beefier, and the quick release plate is now a standard Manfrotto sized plate, which evidently the original K5 was not. They look identical to me, but I don't know the OG K5, so I'm just going with what I've seen on YouTube, and evidently on this model they made the QR plate size to fit the standard Manfrotto receiver, which is a really good thing. To make all of this work, you mount the head to the slider using this super awesome combo screw. This is one of the coolest things I've ever seen. It's 3/8, but it's also 1/4 20, and you don't have to have an adapter or anything else with it. With that done, you attach the quick release plate to the bottom of your camera. And the plate has a scale on the side, and that's the crucial element to making this work. You need to place the entire camera setup on something round. The handle that it comes with actually is really handy for this. You set it down flat, and then you roll your camera back and forth until you find the center of balance. When you attach the plate to the head, align the center point marker on the head with whatever number corresponded to the balance point, and your camera rig is now balanced over the center point of the carriage on the slider. And you can see how it just kind of sits offset. Increasing the torque on the motors is not quite so straightforward. The process is, but knowing what setting to use is not. There's no one magic number. It's dependent on the size and the weight of your camera rig. And honestly, I don't really know exactly how all that works, but I have figured out that 25 gives me consistently smooth results. If anyone knows for sure how that affects things, please comment below and you'll be a great hero to probably tens of people who will watch this video. With these two changes, I'm now really quite happy with my iFootage Shark Slider Nano Komodo K5S combo. The process of getting it to perform well was a little bit of a hassle, but I'm sure that with time the frustration of the journey will fade since it now meets my needs so well. This setup is really small, it's light, it's easy to operate, it's unobtrusive on set, it's quiet, and you know, it does what it's supposed to do. The Komodo K5S has exceeded all my expectations at this point. It really is, it's pretty awesome, especially for the money. It's stout and it's really well made. Ergonomically, it's well laid out. The pan and tilt resistance are fixed, but for most mirrorless or DSLR camera loads, it performs really well, and I'm pleased with my purchase. And there you have it. Until something else shiny comes along, we're back to business as usual on the channel. I've got a couple of other scripts cooking, so maybe I'll have some new stuff soon. If you have any questions that I haven't answered about the Shark Slider Nano or the iFootage Komodo K5S Fluid Head, please post them in the comments, and I thank you very much for watching.